Welcome to Shaping eCommerce with Iron Plane. This is where we talk about e-commerce development, solutions, digital marketing, and all things e-commerce. Be sure to check out the description below each video to find additional resource links and show notes. We upload new videos each day. Please like and subscribe to our channel.
Welcome back to Shaping eCommerce. I'm Tim Bucciarelli, Director of Engagement with Iron Plane, and today I'm very happy to have Marc Uible from Threekit with us to talk about the Threekit technology and how it's helping merchants merchandise their products online. And it's a very interesting and very timely topic. So I look forward to diving in with Marc. And Marc, welcome. Glad to have you on the show. If you could give everyone a quick intro of your role at Threekit and how you came to be there.
Wonderful. Tim, thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. Like Tim said, my name is Marc Uible. I am the Vice President of Marketing and Business Development at Threekit. We're a visual commerce platform. And what that means is essentially, if you sell a product that's customizable or configurable that you need to show in order to sell, you've got a challenging problem, and Threekit can help. We're a visualization software that shows every variation of your product in 2D, 3D, or in augmented reality.
And what do you do for Threekit?
Yeah, so I run our marketing and business development teams. I've been doing that for about 3.5 years. And before Threekit, I spent the last decade mostly at PayPal, running their go-to-market, and then as well before that in management consulting. Okay,
great. And I know from our own experience working with Threekit with our existing clients, it's I won't say it's a game changer. That might be a little bit too much, but it's really a nice innovation, and it's almost becoming expected of the higher quality websites that are showing you these, as you mentioned, configurable or more complex products. So for example, we did it with our client Gat Creek, which is a furniture manufacturer recently. And it allows the customer to have a much more complete experience where they can choose the wood type and the image changes, and they can rotate it in 3D and view it from all different angles. They can choose the finish color, and they can manipulate that as well. They can view it within their space. Like, these are the innovations that people seem to almost come to expect today. Are there other aspects that I haven't touched on about what the Threekit technology can do, or maybe just dive into a little bit more about this use case of complex products and why Threekit works particularly well there?
Yeah, that's such a, thanks for that mention. I mean, I think this Gat Creek is a good jump off point, right? So they sell this, absolutely really wonderful bed frames and dressers. That's the word. Yep. And so if you think about these things, they're the manufacturer of these things, and they're extremely custom. They come in, dozens of different wood species, 64 different finishes, a ton of different hardware options. And so if you do the math, anyone listening in here, if you have like 10 different cabinets, let's call it, and 64 different finishes and 10 different hardware options, it's something like 1,000 potential variants. And the fact of the matter is if, Gat Creek sells a high consideration product, it's, super high quality, and you might pay $500 or $1,000 for this really incredible dresser. But the problem is if you're buying that online, you want to see what those actual customizations look like. And that is a huge barrier. If I can't see it, I'm not going to buy the $1,500 dresser with my customizations. I don't know if it's going to look good, if it's going to, be the right thing. But with the technology, now you can get a super high quality visual from a solution like Threekit, You can get it in 2D. You can interact with it in 3D. So that means zoom in, spin it, change the materials in real time. And you can also show it in augmented reality, which allows you to put that actual dresser in your space. And so I guess there's two fronts here. Like, the huge thing that we see is companies out there, they're able to manufacture a custom product or a personalized product. But oddly enough, and that's really hard work, but oddly enough, they're not able to do the last bit of the marathon. They've run 25 miles and they're at the final mile and they're building their website, their e-commerce experience, and they're saying, I have no easy way to show that customization of my product, that configuration of my product, or to show it in a really interactive way.
Right. What are you going to do? You're going to take 1,000 photographs of this finish with this stain, with this hardware? Like, nobody can do that. And 1,000 might be the reality. Some companies might even have more. And even if you have fewer, like let's say you've got 200 total varieties, that's still complicated to get all of those assets photographed and loaded up onto your website. So I guess one question I have is, how is that achieved? You don't have photographs of every single stain and color. Like, is it basically like an overlay on top of one photo that's kind of neutralized, and you can put the color and the stain and the hardware? Like, I don't want to get into the secret sauce, but I'm just curious, how technically does that happen?
Great question. Most companies have that manufacture products, which is primarily who we work with. They either have 3D files or they have CAD files. And so what we are essentially doing is we are creating a sort of a 3D file of the base layer of that product. And this, let's say it's a dresser. And then on top of that are various meshes that our software is able to put on that reflect all of the different options. So that's kind of the very most basic way to think about it, is a base model that we create with all of the different meshes. But you also have to think that a lot of businesses might have rules, and so Threekit is then essentially on top of that, a configuration and rules engine. So perhaps maybe the cherry oak goes with your mid-century modern dresser line, but it doesn't go with the antique line or something like that. And so then we also help manage all of those rules so that, and also our clients can manage those rules. So for example, too, you might say, well, cherry oak is actually out of stock. You then can hit a button and remove all products that have cherry oak on it so people can't see that. But let's say you now have, pine is in stock and it's a new option for 20% of your dressers. You can now push a button and automatically have visualization for pine on all of the products where that's possible to be rendered.
Super efficiency. And admins listening to this are probably like, I want that, because time to market matters. You get a new variety of a product in there, you want that launched as quickly as possible with as an attractive as possible image and experience. I mean, so it sounds like that this really can help merchants get their products out there.
And that's more of like the sales argument, which is a great argument. But it's also, as we look at, potential uncertainties in the future, companies might be thinking, well, how do I reduce costs? Well, one way to do that is you don't have to hold any inventory if you can visualize your entire portfolio, right? So if someone only produce what's actually ordered online, that means cut down on samples. It means cut down on holding inventory just because you feel like you need to have it. Let your e-commerce engine or your sales engine drive, and then you can manufacture on the back end. That's a huge use case there as well for cutting costs. Yeah.
And are there other use cases that should be mentioned in the Threekit world that our merchants might be interested in?
I think the big one that's really occurring to my mind right now is, And I think what we're seeing is a lot of D2C brands right now are they're kind of having this oh crap moment, right? Where they're like, oh, I probably need to sell in channels outside of my own e-commerce website. And so they're checking out retailers and distributors, in-store, sales teams, B2B. And the powerful thing about that is Threekit allows you to syndicate these 3D augmented reality and 2D experiences to these other channels. We've got a great customer right now who sells via their own website, D2C, and they also sell via Home Depot. So they're able to syndicate the experience that they have on this amazing 3D customization experience and syndicate it to sell through Home Depot.
Now, does Home Depot then need to have some relationship with Threekit, or is it literally like a link on the product page that says, you experience this product in 3D?
It's simply a player from Threekit. So it's pretty easy to load in on Home Depot's site. That's how it works.
Cool.
And so I think that's a really powerful thing for teams to think about, is not just, hey, how does my website look? But how do I really create demand and an incredible experience in other channels? That can be a superpower.
So I wonder, so that could be an asset, or that embed code probably varies by product, I'm guessing. When you talked about syndication, I immediately think of PIMS.
Exactly.
And the content that they house in a PIM, for all the product information, one component could certainly be that embed code that gets sent out automatically through the PIM out to all of their channels. Okay, good. That's a cool use case again. When we think about people that are using Threekit's technology today, we've talked about Gat Creek, one of our clients. Home Depot is using this embed code for other D2C companies. Are there other clients that you currently work with that you want to mention that you think are particularly innovative?
Yeah, one of my favorites is Lovesac. Great customer. I'm not going to say all, because I'm not 100% confident it's all, but it's almost everything, every product you'll see on their website is Threekit visualized. They have this incredible amount of configuration, these incredible sectionals and Lovesac's, and the ability to, in real time, experience that is super special. And we've been a huge part of their growth journey, as revenue for them has more than doubled. Now, they're a great company. I'm not going to say, hey, this is all Threekit. They have a fantastic CEO and great management team. But it's been amazing to be part of their growth story, and visuals are certainly a core component of their growth.
Okay, good. Yeah. And when we think about this, it seems like, it's not super new. It's been on the market for what, maybe 5 years, maybe even more, I'm not sure. Are you even approaching market penetration where you feel like it's kind of mature, or are we still at the tip of the iceberg here?
We're at the tip of the iceberg. Right now, what we're seeing is the leading global brands in categories are working with Threekit. We've really started to see that these companies, what they sense, they've got these bigger, more enterprise companies, they have a strong balance sheet. They see that maybe we're heading towards a time of maybe some uncertainty, and they're seeing that this is a great time to invest in this sort of transformation and to go capture market share with a better customer experience that's more interactive and more engaging. But it's also just great for their business, because with 3D, it's not only, like I said, you can syndicate that experience, you can sell more, it's a better e-commerce experience. But you can also do things like cut down on inventory, cut down on photography costs. It makes you as a business run more smoothly. I didn't even talk about how you can, like a lot of these companies are going from order, and they can spit out something like a bill of material or a CAD file, which makes their manufacturing easier. So what we're seeing is the big brands that are real leaders in the category are choosing Threekit because they see this as a way to grow their top line in terms of higher conversion, higher lifetime value of customers, higher loyalty. but also getting more efficient and transformed on their cost saving side and business transformation side. Frankly, I think that what they're seeing is like, hey, this is my chance to go gobble up market share while everyone else is kind of battening down the hatches and not innovating. So that's what we're seeing right now.
So in terms of the market that you have been working with, it sounds like it's maybe primarily D2C. It's at least until now has been what I'll call industry leaders, where they're really innovators in their marketplace. And beyond that, I think, is it accurate to say that you're looking to expand beyond D2C for this type of product? And also, is it likely that you're going to see this being embraced by small to mid-sized enterprises, not the industry leaders anymore, as a means of really still today differentiating themselves from the competition?
Yes. So we work with a lot of different types of companies, not just D2C. Actually, in fact, 50% of our customers are B2B. So just as big in B2C as we are in B2B. We work with D2C companies as well as companies like TaylorMade, which obviously is not strictly D2C.
They're everything.
They're everything.
Yeah.
But we also work with big B2B companies like Sloan and Heister Yale as well, because those companies, when you're selling a complex forklift or, a bathroom, to O'Hare Airport here in Chicago, that's a complex product and, highly configurable, and it still pays to visualize. Even in a B2B buying process, we're still humans. We like to see things. What am I buying? And I would say certainly a large swath of our customers are these like enterprise leading global brands. But actually just yesterday, we won an account with a smaller company that makes glasses. And I think the thing that ties all these companies together is they see where the future is going and they want to get ahead of it. I honestly see a world 10 years from now, and I know 10 years sounds really far out until it's not, where you will see a product on your phone and your natural inclination will be to rotate that phone and to rotate that product and to zoom in. And that'll be your next inclination. And when you don't have that, it's going to be a tremendous problem. It's like, why am I shopping on this website? This product, it doesn't work. It's not right. It's like 5 years ago, or even today, not even 5 years ago, when you go on a website on your phone and it's not mobile optimized.
Yeah.
And it's like, what am I doing on this, crusty government website from 1997? And that will be what is happening in the somewhat near future, is people will be looking to engage with your product. And if it's not engaging, it's not interactive, if I can't customize or personalize it, it's going to be like operating on a 1997 unoptimized website on your mobile phone. It'll be really rough. And so look, 10 years is a long way out. And a lot of brands are saying, oh, I'll sit and wait. But the leaders, the TaylorMades of the world, Crate & Barrel, Lovesac, Sloan, I can't name a number of the others, but top tier names in the fashion and luxury world, these brands are choosing Threekit because they see, like, if I'm a consumer on my phone, would I rather just have a few images of a product? No, I'd rather be able to see it in super high poly 3D that I can zoom in and rotate and customize and personalize in real time. And oh, by the way, if I'm the brand, I can charge margin on that personalization, that customization. I'm actually making more money for something that's always been one of my manufacturing capabilities. And then, of course, all these other tremendous externalities later in the post-order workflow, not carrying inventory, cutting photography costs, et cetera. So that's, I think, what we're seeing. And yeah, 10 years is a far way away, but I think what we're seeing is the leaders are already recognizing it and moving towards it.
Yep. It seems to me that this space, because it is an attractive space, is already getting pretty busy with competitors, which is always good for merchants because it gives them a variety to choose from. each of those platforms will likely have some value and distinction in what they're offering. So when you think about your competitive space, do you see Threekit as, having any real challengers in your particular use cases, or are you kind of top of the heap? I mean, it's a little bit of a leading question, but what is the marketplace like, and are there any competitors that you think are worth mentioning here?
Yeah, I think it's a nuanced question. Threekit created the category. We're by far and away the largest operator in the visual commerce category and the one who created it. There's two camps that we're seeing forming and that merchants have their choice of. And the first camp is where 99% of the market sits, which is, I think the first thing that merchants think of is, I want to get into 3D. I want to see my product in 3D, and I want to get a bunch of renders. This is what we call the pretty picture problem. And that is, hey, I want to get a bunch of renders or a bunch of 3D or a bunch of AR for my products. There are agencies and some smaller competitors out there that do that will say, hey, I'll give you 5,000 or 500,000 renders of your product. And it will be expensive, but it'll be less expensive probably than Threekit. What Threekit offers is the ability to maintain and manage all of your products, add new materials, new finishes, new add-ons, new personalization, create new renders from new angles, to sell in every channel. When you have a new product, to easily add that to the platform, to essentially create millions or billions or trillions of more and more engaging visuals, to show it not only in 2D or 3D, but also in augmented reality. And to be able to manage these things and to sell through a lot of different, not just on e-commerce, but like I said, through a sales channel, through distributors, through retailers, to connect into all of your systems, that's where we're really talking about. Yes, and of course we do the pretty picture as well. That's really where the bifurcation of the market's happening right now. What we've seen before is we'll be talking to a company, and they fall into that pretty picture camp, and then about a year later they say, I want to come to Threekit because I have a new add-on or a new feature or a new color or a new material, a new product, and it's taking me 2, 3, 4, 5 months to get that thing launched, to get quality visuals, to distribute those visuals. And at Threekit, you can do those things in a matter of days. If you're a small company who only has one product and that product never, ever changes, then I guess you fall into that pretty picture camp. But if you ever want to change your product, if you ever want to distribute it in new ways, if you ever want to test new ideas, if you ever want to go into 2D, 3D, and augmented reality, now you've got a huge problem if you've chosen that pretty picture agency or a niche solution, as I'd call it.
And the complexity of the product also probably matters. If you've got a widget of a product that's relatively simple, that maybe comes in 3 colors, and that's it. Like,
not Threekit.
Yeah. Right,
yeah.
Like,
go find yourself a good 3D designer. Honestly, I think that's you're exactly right, Tim. Like, hey, I have 10 total configurations or 50 total configurations. Go find yourself an amazing 3D artist, and they can go do that for you. Create some amazing 2D, 3D, and AR things. It's still not easy and still not cheap.
Right.
But that's what I would suggest. But when you start, you were totally right earlier. When you start talking, hey, I have 1,000 configurations, 10,000 configurations, 100,000, 1 million, 1 billion, 1 trillion. That's when you really ought to start thinking about a platform like Threekit.
And in terms of the services, like if we can dig into like a little bit of maybe, pricing might be a little bit too variable to really talk about. But in terms of the services, would I as a merchant say, okay, Threekit, I really like your company. I like what you do. I'm not quite ready for the variation. Maybe I don't have all the data ready to give you all the configurables, but I really need this kind of my product in your space functionality. Is that the type of thing that you're able to separate out as a service offering and say, okay, we can offer you this AR in your space option right now, but maybe not the full-on configuration mesh variation for your products? Or is it kind of like an all-in-one package?
We can do that. Yes, we have an offering called Basic that allows for that. Hey, I just want to see my product in 3D. I just want to see it in augmented reality. We can do that. We tend to work with, like I said, like the more complex use cases. That's where our platform really shines, but we can certainly do, hey, I just want to see my product in 3D and AR.
Okay.
We do that as well.
Okay. All right. When you think about, the good first steps for a company that's looking to consider Threekit and really trying to assess whether it's a good platform for them, what would you recommend their first few steps be to start that project?
Well, I think first off, we run an extremely consultative sales cycle. It's not a hard sell. We are partners. We literally look at ourselves as partners in the transformation of these companies and how they operate. And so I really suggest reaching out to our team and having a chat about how does your business run? How should you think about setting up this type of project? This is, like I said, this is a transformation to drive sales and cut costs at companies. And it really is a transformation. I think we've seen a lot of companies go about it different ways. You could go about it all in, get all of your products in and do that. That's certainly one route. Another route is the route that TaylorMade went, which is start with one product that's configurable. That's probably a bestseller or a top seller, and see how that goes. See if you get the ROI from that project, and if you want to do more with Threekit.
And do you do that? Do you do proof of concepts for potential clients so that you can demonstrate that ROI?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would necessarily call it a proof of concept because this would, it's not free.
Okay.
But that is certainly a good way to get started with Threekit, is to take a top product that's configurable, and yeah, let's do that together. Let's do that project and get it live in 3 months. Have something that's an incredible experience. It's going to drive sales, and guarantee you it'll be a good thing for your business, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. And we'll include some information in the show notes to let folks know how they can reach out to the folks at Threekit to get that conversation started. One of my areas of interest is in integrations. And as you know, Ironplane builds websites on the Magento and Adobe Commerce and BigCommerce platforms. So e-commerce is one area of integration I'm curious to hear more about from your side of things, but also we already talked briefly about PIMS. Are there other areas of integration that you think are particularly important where Threekit demonstrates kind of maturity of your platform with pretty substantial integrations?
Yeah, I mean, I think the integration with your e-commerce platform is huge. If you can leverage your product catalog, either Threekit can be the holder of rules, or if there's another platform that holds the rules, we can integrate there as well. We also integrate with CPQ systems like Oracle CPQ or Salesforce Revenue Cloud. You mentioned PIMS, CPQ systems, e-commerce systems, ERPs, especially in this new world of supply chain shocks. You want to be able to list and show the products that are in stock and available. We can hook in to show that. I think some of those are some of the main ones. I mean, we also can leverage 3D files from 3ds Max or Maya or even Photoshop. So there's a lot of different ways that we integrate into to leverage the existing rules and data and assets that companies already have.
And some companies may or may not be fully prepared with the CAD files, with the rules, with the variable data. Like, does Threekit also offer a degree of professional services to kind of help those companies really get started on the right foot?
Yep. both in-house and verified third parties that we've worked extremely closely with over the years. And there's essentially three parts of a project, which is there's the 3D assets, 3D asset readiness, which is, hey, let's create core 3D files and all the variants for your business. Then there's the UI UX, which is like, how is it going to look and how are we going to make it so it's high converting in your various channels? And then there's the integrations into your e-commerce, PIM, CPQ, ERP, whatever it may be.
Yeah. We worked together with Threekit when we were implementing it for the Magento platform. So that's something that we have experience with. And it seems like it's not, at least as far as that integration goes, it did not seem like an enormously heavy lift. It seemed like those systems play well together. They both have enough kind of tolerance of complexity that they can communicate very well together. That was my impression anyway.
Agreed. Yep. We have native integrations with, Magento, Salesforce Commerce Cloud, BigCommerce, Shopify, SAP Hybris. You kind of name it. That's a powerful differentiator for us.
Great. And what do you think is next for Threekit? Where is the company going? Where is the technology going? I know you can't expose anything, but I'm just curious. What do you think is up and coming for you guys?
Yeah, there's so many cool innovations. I think, some of those things are like virtual try-on. A future where someone can try on a shirt or a suit or shoes or sunglasses or watches. You can customize it online, hit a button, all of a sudden you can see it on your person. That's really powerful for the retail and apparel industry. I'm also really excited for, a world where this 3D could kind of be a way for people, like a future drop shipping, if you will. So like there could be a company that never ever holds any inventory that simply is able to connect into manufacturers who can do customization and configuration. And you're then able to spit out everything that you need to produce that product. Those are kind of two far out ideas.
Kind of drop manufacture.
Exactly. I see a future where you have today we have a physical idea of a product that's sitting on a shelf or in a warehouse somewhere. And in the future, you will have a 3D version of your product that's sitting on a shelf, except that 3D version is infinitely composable and personalizable and customizable. And that thing is for your e-commerce and your market. It's the same. It's a product that you can use for your e-commerce, your marketing, your manufacturing, your clienteling, after you sell the product to someone, you then can add on to the product, say, hey, would this look good with that shirt you bought? What about this tie? And now you're showing a custom tie based on the shirt that they bought in the email to someone. And so I think there's just a future that 3D is the core operating asset for how you think about your digital business.
Yeah, excuse me. Engaging with that interaction, not limited to a product detail page, is pretty compelling to me. If you can experience that in a whole variety of spaces online, whether it's a blog post, whether it's a tweet, whether it's, or Instagram, whatever, you can still engage with that 3D element. That seems to me to be pretty cool.
Yes.
Well, that's an exciting future. I know a lot of merchants are keen to learn more about this topic, and I appreciate you giving us a snapshot of what Threekit offers. And as I mentioned, I'll include in the show notes how people can get in touch with you. Is there anything else that you feel like we missed or that you wanted to mention about Threekit or the marketplace, or kind of concerns that merchants might have about this technology?
No, I think I've gone enough missionary zeal for one day. But Tim, I do appreciate Iron Plane's partnership, and oh man, I love that experience that we built for Iron. Oh gosh, there's just Gat Creek versus Iron Plane.
Yeah.
kind of getting those word. That is such a wonderful experience. I know they're getting amazing results, and love what y'all are building. And yeah, thank you for the partnership.
We've got other folks queued up that we're talking to about this, so hopefully we can do another project like that. We're looking forward to it. So Marc, thank you again for joining us today on Shaping E-commerce. I appreciate your time, and look forward to working together on our next project.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
For more insights on how to improve your e-commerce website and for a free consultation, visit ironplane.com. Follow us on social media and like and subscribe below.